Hi everyone, it's Neil from Big Science with the first of our Easter themed science experiments. For all of our science experiments, you are going to be using eggs. So all you need for this one is an egg and a big jar. Now I've got a glass coffee jar here. If you do this at home, you can use a jar, a plastic box, or anything like that, but you have to be able to fill it full of water and then have a nice tight lid on. Now to do this experiment, you need to be able to fill the container all the way up to the top with water. So this coffee jar is full to the top with water. Now you might need to do this over a sink or on a tray like I've got today, because what you need to do is you need to carefully place your egg in. Now it will overflow and just drop. And then you need to put the lid on nice and tight. And it's now ready to go. Now the experiment is to try and break that egg, to try and crack the egg. So if we pick up our glass and give it a little shake, it still looks like it hasn't broke, but also we can give it, turn it upside down, move it around, we can give it a shake, side to side, up and down. Then carefully pour out the water. Be very careful with the egg. If we can get it out. The egg isn't rotten. So the water inside the jar protected the egg. Now just to prove that, we're going to put the same egg back inside, we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to give it a shake. The egg is cracked. In the first part of the experiment with the water, the egg was not cracked. In the second part of the experiment, without any water, the egg is definitely cracked. So why did that happen? So the reason why the egg didn't crack when the jar was full of water is because of this thing called viscosity. So viscosity is kind of how thick something is, how dense something is. So the water is a lot more dense than air. So it was harder for the egg to move through and to hit the sides. When the jar was full of air, it was really easy for the egg to move, so it could move quick enough that it could hit the sides of the jar and crack. And that was the difference with this one. Now this is a really nice experiment to do at home because it actually shows how a mum keeps the baby safe when the baby is in their tummy. So the egg is our baby, the jar is the mum's tummy. So inside the tummy they have this thing called the amniotic sac. Inside the amniotic sac they have this stuff called amniotic fluid. It's a fluid like water. It's thicker than the air around it. So when the baby is in the fluid, it's kept safe. So that's how a mum keeps a baby safe when it's in her tummy. Hopefully you enjoyed our first Big Science Easter themed experiment. Remember to keep some eggs because our next experiments will both be using more of them. Thank you again and see you soon.